The year is 3022. The sun is no longer what it used to be, so life on Earth is fading away. The remaining humans began to remap the calendar, marking the dawn of a new age of the Earth wasteland. A guy walking somewhere with his companion who doesn't seem to be dressed for the weather. Isn't she freezing out there? The towns were empty, almost no people to be seen. However, the guy and the girl managed to do so. The man who spotted them drinks some liquid straight from the throat of a bottle, and then together with his fellow thugs, one of whom grabbed a metal rebar, they are going to go and get food. The girl notices that there is someone near them. She notices that 3 people are located on one side of them, and also 5 people are located on the other side, and they are all adults. And we are introduced to the girl. Her name is Ye Xiaobai. She was born in Wasteland Age City, A. Her number is 0939. Hearing such news, the black-haired guy became wary. After all, it looked like he was going to have a hectic journey home. So without thinking of anything better, he makes a bow and then informs the uncle to come out. That he and his sister are very weak. That his sister has no abilities whatsoever, and she just noticed them. The guy's name is Ye Fei. His number is 0938. He informs them that he doesn't have any powers either, so he advises the company of men not to hide. It turns out they've known each other for a long time. The man even says he didn't expect to see him here. But Ye Fei reminds him that the man robs him every day. So how could he not know they would meet like this? Last time they stole noodles near Ye Fei's house, and this time the man has him stalked even after Ye Fei changed his path. The man, on the other hand, doesn't feel anything bad about this event. After all, he has many brothers, and he can't do anything about it because he needs to feed them. Since the world has stopped, there are no supplies, and everything that could be looted has already been looted. There are only a few secluded corners that only the young can get into, such as Ye Fei. The man doesn't want to fight with the children for food, so let them give up the supplies all quietly. Ye Fei agrees. It seems he has no choice, and the company of men inspect the loot. The man with a beard thanks them for their understanding and leaves them a sweet lollipop as a reward. The girl even tears up and thanks the man, and then shows her true feelings, because she and her brother were digging through a huge pile of trash to find something at least. So she punches the man in the hand he was holding the lollipop in and sends him verbal curses, and insults them by saying how worthless those thieves are. The man is such a gentleman, even willing to turn a blind eye to the girl's behavior this time. They say goodbye to the brother and sister. The girl at the same time wipes her tears, and the boy notices how the lollipop has split and is lying in a puddle. A rat runs up to the lollipop. Apparently there is nothing to eat. But the boy drives the rat away and asks his crying sister, does she remember what Ye Fei told her to do if she can't win? The girl says he advised her to give up, play dead, and then contact her brother. He confirms her words and says she remembers everything correctly. They're still young, so it's easier for them to cope in a situation like this. He holds the raised lollipop right in front of the girl and reassures her that it's better for them to back off and not get nervous unnecessarily. And then he defiantly eats the lollipop right in front of the girl and even shares the impression of how delicious the lollipop was. The girl seems petrified because she wanted a lollipop too. Ye Fei reassures his sister. When she learns to fly, he will kill them. And when she's stronger, she'll be able to steal sweets from those bastards. And that his sister will grow up and grow up. The girl even cried. Ye Fei strokes his sister's head. But for what he did, the sister is going to go home and tell Mum and Dad that Ye Fei ate all the supplies he found today, and that he's so greedy. But suddenly a lollipop covers her mouth. The girl is very surprised, and the guy says that he has something better than that dirty lollipop. And then he shows his sister his jacket, on the inside of which there were many packages with lollipops. The girl even wonders when he had time. But he only goes off the subject and says that his sister still has a lot to learn. The guy himself touches his heart and reflects on the fact that in order to protect his loved ones, he must become stronger. His strength must shake the seas. After all, humanity will live on, despite all that has happened. After the apocalypse, 90% of the Earth's landmass became deserts due to solar mutations. Almost all skyscrapers are now equipped with solar panels. These panels are located on the upper floors. From are used to absorb heat and convert it into electricity. As reported by the news anchor, the enforcers have recently transformed the last 26 world metropolitan cities. All these 26 cities have been greatly transformed. Enforcers came to be called people who came from the poorest strata of society. but these people were able to awaken their powers. Everything happened quite suddenly. Enforcers came from ordinary people. The girl is excited to hear what she heard on the news. Except Ye Fei strongly dislikes his sister's reaction. Can his sister really believe the news and worship some enforcers? After saying that, a horrible memory came over the girl. The other day she saw one of the enforcers turn into a large lizard. To her it seemed so horrible. She thinks about how nowadays people are willing to rob their relatives to get some money to live on. And they've had this kind of situation happen to them before. In winter, for example, there is always not enough hot water in the shower. The girl blames that flying thing that broke their solar panel. While the girl is thinking, her brother wonders why she looks so enthusiastically at the news anchor. Since the anchor says the same thing day in and day out, the girl calls out to her brother and points out that the news anchor is wearing a new hairpin today. So at least it's not a rerun. For Ye Xiaobai, cherries are especially good in puff pastry. Ye Xiaobai's brother, on the other hand, scolds her for thinking the wrong thing. And what a useless girl she is. But his sister isn't the one who's going to put up with all his attacks. So Ye Xiaobai asks his brother why he won't go to work at the factory. After all, from mum and dad work so hard every day, but at the same time get very little. But the guy cuts off his sister's exclamations, stating that she just doesn't know anything. Although the look on the guy's face at this point is that he wanted to get away from this topic of conversation as soon as possible. In addition, he informs her that if she continues to meddle in the affairs of adults, he will ask to punish his sister. Suddenly, as if the wind rushes from behind and grabs the girl by her clothes, appearing behind her back a guy with a helmet on his head. He grabs the girl by the head and ponders the fact that at such a young age they are already talking so much about the enforcer team. After that, it would make sense to take the girl away and teach her a good lesson. The boy realizes that he needs to act differently. He praises the older man and what cool skills he has. That when he grows up, he wants to be like the older man too. So he asks to let his stupid sister go because they need to go home. They have a 50-year-old father at home who wants his son to become an enforcer like the older one. The enforcer thinks Ye Fei is a good boy, so he decides to let them go. Ye Fei graces the enforcer for letting the stupid little sister go, and that Ye Fei, when he gets home, he will be sure to punish her himself. Ye Fei throws her sister on her back, says a polite goodbye to the enforcer, and runs off. Once they have escaped as far away as possible, Ye Fei asks her sister not to say any more stupid things on the street. She should also gather supplies and go home, not lingering anywhere along the way. His sister doesn't seem to understand or accept his concern in such an uncomplicated world, thinking his brother is such a bore, complaining about the girl every day while he himself watches that anchorwoman on TV every day. She thinks the enforcer who grabbed her is a big monster. The enforcer seemed so scary to the girl that she barely restrained herself from crying. And anyway, her brother treats her so badly that she will tell her parents everything. The girl will tell her mom and dad everything so that they will punish their son properly for such behavior. Ye Fei covers her sister's mouth and asks her to calm down. Their mum and dad will be back from work soon, and he will feel bad when they see their daughter's tears. Ye Xiaobai is too brash, so she declares that one lollipop won't solve anything. The brother has to be unthinkably generous and offer the girl 3 lollipops. But Ye Xiaobai refuses the offer and declares that 100 lollipops will not be enough for the guy. She's going to tell her father to punish her brother. Put a like if you had a little brother or little sister like this too. And after that, they decide to go inside the house. In his thoughts, Ye Xiaobai ponders how the brother should think about how to make amends. Let him not even try to trick the girl with food and drinks. She won't eat it. Mom and dad will be home soon, so the brother has exactly 15 minutes. She shows all her chutzpah, sits down on the couch, hugs a pillow and says that her brother has exactly 15 minutes and that his time is draining away like sand. The guy seems to have no choice and starts flattering her, saying what a light-skinned, green-eyed, beautiful girl, the dearest and most affectionate sister in the world. He asks to be told what he can give the girl so she won't complain to her parents. If she doesn't cry, the brother will give her anything she wants. He seems to be succeeding, judging by her red cheeks. However, the girl pushes him away and doesn't even let him hope to placate her. Then she decides to tell him her little secret. The other day, she accidentally peeks into her brother's room and learns that he can fly, that he can make tables and chairs fly, even make fire. The girl asks her brother to teach her how to do this. Ye Fei doesn't seem too pleased. He wonders when his sister saw it and if anyone else has seen it. The girl tells him that it was at night when she went to the bathroom. No one saw anything but her. Sister knows that all people with flying abilities are taken away by the enforcers, so she didn't say anything. It wasn't such bad information. Ye Fei then wonders to his sister what the point of him from her training is. The girl straight up got all fired up at the idea. If she learns this skill, they won't have to be afraid of bad guys anymore. But Ye Fei shuts down her argument by saying that bad guys are always stronger than good guys, so it's useless for the girl to learn, and it's no reason to learn. Then Ye Xiaobai says, with a pitying look, that she can protect mom and dad when she learns this skill. But here too, the guy cuts off the girl's musings. Mom and dad are decent people who live their lives. They will never complain even when they are bullied. Therefore, the best defense for a person is to not interfere in their personal life. Ye Xiaobai pouted at this answer and then declared that if her brother doesn't teach her, she will learn from someone else, since the enforcers are in the business of teaching children. But here too, the brother parries this answer. After all, no one can teach the girl except him. This is all because Ye Fei is the only immortal in this world. Ye Xiaobai asks her new teacher to tell her everything. The brother agrees and explains for us and the girl that currently, thanks to the solar mutation, so many people have gained strength. He even, like a true teacher, prepared suitable illustrations for the explanation. Did he spend all night preparing for this moment? Some people's physical characteristics were greatly improved. Such people were called strongmen. Other articles have strange abilities such as invisibility and flight, and they are known as tricksters. And some people all became more and more like animals and became known as reborn. Ye Fei, on the other hand, calls himself an immortal cultivator. He possesses 3 abilities at once. His sister, on the other hand, admires him and calls him a flying dog with well-developed limbs. He is not really satisfied with such a description. Ye Xiaobai, following his brother, also wants to practice immortality. I wonder if she will be able to become immortal or if her life will end sooner. Ye Fei asks her sister to give her a reason why she also wants to practice immortality, because she can't start doing it until she gives a reason. Making an innocent expression, Ye Xiaobai decided to ask Ye Fei why he is cultivating immortality. Slightly surprised by such a question, Ye Fei still decided to answer. He doesn't want to run away from enemies in panic and just wants to live normally. He wants to live for the sake of his family. Ye Xiaobai is such a fox, she instantly copied her brother's reason. She stated that she wants to become as strong as her brother. She doesn't want to be a burden to her brother. She wants them to work together as a team. The girl was going about her business, or perhaps home, and suddenly a mirage appeared in front of her eyes as if she had a vision problem. The girl doesn't have vision problems, but the enforcer, who met the brother and sister earlier, appeared in front of her. A moment later, the enforcer teleported out of the place, and all that was left of him were wisps of energy scattered in the wind. After teleporting to another location, the enforcer in armor told Professor Yang that he had returned. The professor greeted him and asked if he had seen anything interesting. The enforcer reported that he had met a cute child. Professor Yang was greatly surprised, for this was not at all like his usual behavior, so he wondered how a guy could think a kid was cute. The enforcer stops all of the professor's speculation and informs him that they are not talking about the same thing. Especially this time, enforcer has caught 3, and those 3 are enough for the professor's experiment. Enforcer notices that all these guys are all rodent mutations. They will be perfect for the professor's current project. The professor thanks the guy and then asks him to test what he gave him and put it where it belongs. Suddenly, however, the enforcer notices that one of his rats is missing somewhere. Meanwhile, we head back to the brother and sister's house once again. Ye Fei has forced his sister to sign a piece of paper with her fingerprint, where she confesses that she is Ye Xiaobai. From today, she will become a member of Ye Fei's school and take the path of immortality. She promises that from now on, she will go all out to achieve her goal. She even had to get down on her knees. She swears that she will never disobey her master and will be honest and loyal. She swears to abide by all the rules of the school. She promises that she will not back down from her words. Her pitiful eyes shone as she said this. She could easily talk her brother into it, especially if anything she would tell his parents about all of her brother's joints. Therefore, after stroking his sister's head, he decides that from now on, Ye Xiaobai will become his senior student. However, Ye Fei also knows how to settle his problem with his sister. He assures his sister that as a member of Ye Fei's school, he must always speak only the truth. Now he asks her to tell him about whether she cried today on purpose to frame him. His sister's face immediately showed a grimace where she wished she didn't have to answer this question. Ye Xiaobai's entire face was covered in cold sweat, for she really didn't want her trump card to be revealed. Ye Fei continued to press his sister and wondered from her how she knew that he was practicing at night. He didn't stop there and continued to bend his line. Every night he locked the door to his room and shut the window. He also placed disrupting and masking charms around the room so that no ordinary person could see anything. That's why the brother is wondering how his sister was able to see him practicing after all. Ye Fei shows his sister the piece of paper she just signed and points to the part where she promised that if there was any information, she would definitely provide it to her brother. He grabs his sister and asks her to give her the treasure if she has any. Ye Xiaobai calls his brother a dog. However, Ye Fei shows his sister the contract again and reminds her that she herself agreed that she would never disobey her teacher. The sister, on the other hand, yells about how she can't see anything. Taking Ye Xiaobai by the leg and lifting her up, her brother tells her that it was only once, and he will not let it happen again. If she disobeys her teacher again, he assures her that she will be punished according to family law. Her sister threatens to kill him because she's already getting sick of the upside-down flips. Ye Fei continues his pressure on his sister and, holding her by one leg, asks her to show him everything she has. And suddenly from this shaking, a mirror, a robot toy, a camera and lipstick started falling out of her sister. Ye Xiaobai asks her brother to stop. She will tell him everything. Just let him let her go. Finally, the sister decides to confess that when she was little, she discovered that her eyes were different from those of her brother and the others. At first, she could see through a piece of paper, and what was behind the sheet of paper was revealed to her sight. The boy is shocked by such sudden revelations of his sister, and yet he didn't even notice it. Ever since she was a little girl, she had special eyes, not like everyone else's. Every time she found more supplies than her brother because all those supplies were in places where no one could see them. Every time they came home, she could tell her brother where the bad guys were hiding. It wasn't that she could hear them, she just saw them all. These words made Ye Fei think and remember all these events. Ye Xiaobai was hesitant to tell everything because she was afraid that her family would think she was a monster and wouldn't want to see her anymore. She could see through walls, and a little later she could look through several buildings. After that, she was able to see what her brother was doing when he closed up, how he was setting candles around and lighting each one, swallowing swords and not inflicting any time on himself at all, and much more. This included all the inappropriate things her brother did. His sister has seen what he does at night and thinks he's even more horrible than she is. After hearing all these revelations, Ye Fei put Ye Xiaobai on the floor and then asked her sister what she sees behind the closed curtain. Ye Xiaobai obediently activates her eyes to see what is behind the curtain. However, what she sees is incredibly frightening to her, as Ye Xiaobai saw a large rat with red eyes watching them. Ye Fei tries to make sure if her sister is telling the truth. Ye Xiaobai confirms her earlier words and reports that the huge rat was leaning against the glass. It seems that the rat that escaped from the enforcer was found in the siblings' home. Except why was the mutated rat interested in the siblings, or just one of them? Maybe the rat smelled they possessed some kind of ability. And that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you would like to see a sequel, please like, subscribe to the channel, and leave your wishes in the comments. You can also subscribe to Telegram to know about new videos. Bye everybody.